YouTube, what's going on? How we doing? Today we are on our 4th episode of the podcast. That's right, we had the man Yo Filet in and we were chatting up about all things Twitch, content related, social media. It was a damn good time. Don't forget, guys, if you enjoy the content, leave a like, hit that bell, hit the subscribe button and leave a comment and let me know. Also, if you want to join in and you want to ask any questions, come and join me on my Twitch channel. Link is in the bio. But for now, I'm going to leave you to it. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys. Yo, what the hell is that on your head?
Excuse me.
What the fuck is that on your head, by the way?
Are you anti-fish agenda? Okay. This is the wonderful Yo Filet cosplay, which only made its edition in Yo Filet Phase 2. But I feel like it's almost like a mandatory start to any stream I do. But alas, it is I. I'm not a man, I'm a fish. Clearly.
Looks like a Fortnite player.
It's funny you say that because actually I got the Fortnite business fish skin when it got made available not too long ago. I was like, that's the only time I am putting money into Fortnite is if I can get that skin. And lo and behold, it became available again.
Mate, I mean, that is an way to make an entrance. I just want to say welcome, Apollo Gary. How are you doing, bro? Thank you so much for joining the stream. And also, Zurus, thank you so much for joining in. First time chatter in the building. Guys, can we get some...
Yes, it's Sean. Zara is a very beautiful Irish man, so he does definitely deserve some love.
Let's go. First time chatter in the building. Welcome. Thank you for joining. Right, John? What the fuck? I'm just going to say this, bro, but your audio won't be sounding crystal because of that mask.
Do not worry. I cannot wear that for the entire stream anyway because of the amount of sweat that literally drips from my face. It is such an uncomfortable thing to wear. But it's made its start. It's made its debut. That's all that matters. Also, I can't see because I'm a blind boy, so it really is not the most optimal thing. I'm absolutely not wearing that for a whole stream.
I've never seen an entrance like it. Oh my god. You are the first person who's ever dressed up for the podcast. I'm not gonna lie, man.
It's part of the Yo Filet persona, though. Like, I don't always do it. So, like, one of the things that I kind of purposely don't bring it on for is the Sundays, because on the Sundays it's a bit of a chill stream. It's very much a case of we're doing some games as part of a series called the 100 Game Series, and everything for that is supposed to be a bit sort of laid back, a bit chill. But any like other time, it's pretty much full on. Let's go, Yo Filet all the way.
Right. Okay. I hear you, bro. Yo Filet all the way, all day, baby.
Yo Filet all the way. I should use. I keep coming up with these weird like little sound bites. I'm like, I should use that. That would be such a great thing for like marketing.
Do it, man. Do it. Bring your own. Bring your own. Bring it home, bro. Bring it home.
Yo guys. If you've got a Twitter, can you do hashtag Yo Filet all the way?
That's right. Hashtag Yo Filet all the way, all day. Sitting by the dock of the bay.
Oh,
right.
Look at that. This man's got some Otis, Otis Redding, isn't it?
Well, yeah, it is Otis Redding, yeah, Dock of the Bay.
Look at him. He knows his music.
Oh, man. Yeah, but we're not... music can come later, bro. Music can come later.
Later, yes.
That's right. So, I'm going to give you a minute to let everybody know who you are and what it is you do. Let's go, baby. Let's hear it.
So I'm a degenerate. That's it. Stream's over. That's all you need to know.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a pleasure. Good night.
No, I am Yo Filet. I am a variety streamer. I like to do a little bit of anything and everything within my scope of range, whether that be music, hence that boy, even though that boy hasn't been used for a stream, which I know you said you would get to later. And games, I try to do all-encompassing games, so I'm looking at stuff like party games, which gets chat involved, and then also some solo content. Recently I've moved away from doing the party stuff just because there's been less excitement around that, but regardless of that, I still prioritize having that chat interaction and engagement, because that's really where all the fun comes. I don't know for any of you guys in chat, but one of the most boring things is to go into a new person's stream with maybe 3 viewers. You give them a chance and you're like, hi, hello, are you there? And then they just don't respond. So it's all about that interaction, making things as fun and entertaining for you guys. And that's what I try to bring to each of my streams, is just a little bit of that flavor.
Well, I mean, the way you came onto this podcast, man, I'm saying you definitely brought it, mate. You definitely brought it, without a doubt.
I'll tell you what, that cosplay idea. So I kind of did a cosplay on my birthday on the first year I streamed. It was literally just the suit and a flat cap. Because I didn't have like a fish mask or anything. And then I did this sort of idea, which was like having an Amazon purchase stream, so chat gets to decide a few things to want to do. And that was inspired by a wonderful man called Amanita JTV. He's part of my close group of friends and like streamer mates as well. But that came from him. And one of the suggestions was a Yo Filet cosplay. I didn't include it on that stream because that was for the stream that I was coming back on. I was like, you know what, I've just got to do this. This would be such a great idea. Get the hat, the fish mask, get a monocle, get it all. And it's absolutely, it was a thing that landed very well.
I mean, I wasn't expecting it. Because I know I've got you on camera on Discord, but my Discord screen is completely covered with my chat screen. So I was not prepared for what you brought to the stream by any stretch of the imagination.
I was going to say, I actually tried to keep it a little bit secret from you because we set up a little bit beforehand and I was just wearing a shirt. And that's part of the reason was like, oh, I'm doing stuff in the background, why I had my camera cover on, but it was also so I could get changed into the outfit, keep it a bit of a surprise.
Oh, you did that, mate. You did that. Jesus. What's this I'm hearing about the loudest sigh whenever someone redeems that channel point?
Wait, what? I think I need a bit of context from Lee here. Having been in the fish mask, it's so uncomfortable. Oh yeah, man made it a redemption on his channel and does the loudest sight every time. Yes. So it's actually a point redemption for about 5k filet francs, which is the lovely currency I've gone for as my points. I made it so that you guys could very much decide when I can have the mask on and off, because it makes the start of the beginning of the stream, but then I take it off and then it's every time I put it on. Except there are lots of problems with the mask, and at first it was like, this is a bit uncomfortable, but it'll be funny. It's a problem for several reasons. I can barely see out of it. I'll get the mask up quickly actually so you can see. I can barely see out of it because you need to have it like... Look at it. The nostrils are the eye holes and they're really bloody thin. Like, I'm having to push my finger through that.
Oh my god.
There's no side vents for like sound to escape. So I have to wear earbuds because otherwise I deafen myself literally every time that I put it on, because it just reflects all the noise back. And because this is the lovely speaking hole, which is also not very big, the audio quality is terrible because it's like right through like some sort of filter. So that's partly why I get like always have this big sigh every time I put it on. I did say, I've said multiple times, and every time I've kept forgetting to, I've said I want to mod the mask so I can hear without deafening myself, so I can actually see what I'm playing, so I'm not getting like half my screen covered by this bloody mask. And so I can actually play the game. And so also people can hear me without it sounding like I'm talking through a telephone. It's such a horror. Like, it's funny, but it's also one of those things that after a while it gets old very quickly.
Well, I can imagine, man. I can appreciate that. I can appreciate that. Welcome in, R&B Stella, man. Appreciate you joining. But so this leads me on to another channel point of yours, right? Okay, and I need to understand this channel point and what the hell is B? What the hell is B?
It's not just. Is it just B? I didn't think I called it B. I thought it was B movie.
Oh, B movie. What is it?
Point redemption. I stop whatever I'm doing in my stream and I read the entirety of the B movie script.
What? That must take you the whole stream.
It does.
What the hell?
It was that came because so at the beginning of my stream sort of journey, I had a dedicated bunch of people that came from Idaho, and they had this thing about the B movie being quite a funny thing. So I thought, as soon as I became an affiliate, I was like, what fun channel points can I do? So I've got and I wanted to have some big ones, so obviously some short ones that you can redeem so that they're kind of fun, but some big goals. So if anyone wanted to save up, it would be like a massive payoff. And the two that came to mind was B movie, which was number one, because that kind of tied in with what those guys did. It's sort of a nice homage to what they're sort of those sorts of jokes that they enjoyed.
Right, okay.
But the second one as well, which I don't know if you've seen, it's for 100,000 Philae francs, and it's just fish slap, and I get slapped in the face with a fish.
Yeah, you're gonna have to explain the logistics on this one, man. Slapped in the face with a fish. So a real fish from like the fish market, and who slaps you in the face with it?
Probably one of my family members. I know my sister has been eager to slap me round with this fish. So eager. She's like, as soon as you get that point redemption, please ring me and let me know.
I'll be right there in a heartbeat. Boom.
Absolutely. What can I say? Loving siblings, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, but aren't siblings the best? Like that, isn't that what they're there for? to be full of love. I mean, you heard it here, guys.
True.
You want to watch him get slapped with a fish? You need to be in his streams and hitting up 100k channel points. I mean, shit, bro.
I mean, it's a massive milestone to reach. I've known there was one person who got really near, and then he started doing his masters. So he's. Sorry, I had a crane fly decide to fly by my face. Why? Why do crane flies love my room? It's the most annoying shit ever. It's so irritating.
Right, okay.
Sorry, where was I?
Right. So I need to know, this fish, is it in your freezer or something? Like, I don't understand.
I don't own the fish as of yet, so if it gets redeemed, it's like a for the next stream thing. It's not.
Ah, okay.
So it gives me a bit of prep time to actually debate the logistics, because I've looked at it and I'm like, still don't know what to do about it, whether I freeze the fish and reuse it, or people say use it and then cook it afterwards. It's like, but at the times that I have it, it would be so antisocial to cook and like eat this fish at like 12 o'clock in the evening, because I usually stream in the evenings, so it just makes no sense. But yeah, absolutely,
not the best. But I understand what they're saying, but you could always be slapped with it and then stick it in the freezer.
Well, that's what I thought in terms of reusing it, because I don't want to really waste a fish. It's kind of like this is the part of me that's like trying to consider other things, and it's like, if I was to buy fish and throw it away, first of all, it's a waste of good food, because like people are going to be looking to eat, and so it's kind of a big sort of screw you to people who may not be able to afford to eat. And it's also just for that fish life to have been culled from the sea to then been slapped and then thrown away it seems like a waste, which is why I try and be a bit sort of considerate about the logistics, because I don't want to just randomly have nice little face zoom there you had.
Yeah, man.
But I don't really want to be wasteful in how I do it. I want to be sensible.
Yeah,
but I still want it to be funny, because the whole idea of getting slapped with a fish, it's quite literally slapstick humor.
So I mean, once you've been slapped though, are you going to make it like a channel point video playback in super slow motion?
No, I didn't think about that, but that would be so awesome.
Yeah, that's right, man.
The very first time, I just do it recorded as is on stream, and then for future references, when it gets redeemed, that just sort of comes in full screen, and it's like, you get fish slapped, and then it will be like oh, okay, someone's redeemed this. I guess I now have to get it out and slap myself in the fish. But I think replaying that first video would be a cool idea.
Yeah, I mean, I like Dath and Merriam Witch says, "What about a rubber fish?" And then Grandad Roll says, "50k for a rubber fishy."
I mean, I thought about I was saying this to my mates. It's like, what if I get a plastic fish? And they're instantly like, no, because that defeats the entertainment in it. Anyone can get a plastic fish to slap around someone's face. It's like that. It has to be like this big, meaty man that comes by and full on like squelches the side of my face there.
Meaty man. Did you just say it needs to be a big meaty man?
No, I see what I've done. I regret nothing. I've made a severe and continuing lapse of judgment.
You heard it here first. Your fillet wants to be slapped by a big meaty man. Prophet DNA, where are you, bro?
No, the clips are coming out. Damn it.
Oh, nice one, Ram. Appreciate you getting that clip, bro.
Big old meaty man.
That's going to be all over my social media, just saying.
Oh,
just saying.
I cannot. Can we get
You're fine.
Right. Imagine I have my first fish point redemption. I'm trying to go, and it'll be like, yo, I need a big thing, and it's like, yeah, what? It comes from the sea. It's a big meaty man is how I remember it. It's just like, I can imagine the cashier like, what are you on about?
Right, so to move away from your need for a big meaty man, right, what got you into streaming, bro? Like, I feel this is too serious of a question for what's happening right now, but I actually want to know why you started streaming and started your content creation journey. Like, what got you into it?
Nothing can be too, well, I say nothing can be too serious. Obviously we can get into sort of the deep sort of gritty emotion of what is behind Yo Filet, but in terms of how my stream started, I think it's relatively chill, really. We had so I had a mate who was streaming on Twitch. He was just doing it as a sort of fun, entertaining thing. He would do stuff similar to how I started out with Jackbox and all that.
Right.
And I was kind of inspired by what he was doing on his streams.
Yeah.
But I also saw what Deadmau5 was doing. That's an artist, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I know Deadmau5.
Electronic, Houseman. And he basically, I saw him doing a mixture of music streams and gaming streams, and I was in my master's year, so it'd been an idea I've been toying with probably around 2017, 2018. It was, let's say 2017, so probably more like end of 2017, 2018, and then a bit of 2019. And it was when I started doing my master's degree in about 2019, 2020, I thought this would be a great opportunity to actually give that a go rather than think about it, actually be like, right, I'm going to go give this a crack and see how it is. And so I kind of went from there and hosted some party game nights. I tried a bit of everything. So my first stream was actually with this streamer, and we did like a music day, and basically it was me, one of our other mates, and him, and we did like this music challenge. I think it was a fusion challenge was what it was. So we had to combine like 2 genres and make something. So we had that. And then my next stream was a series of games, because I tried streaming on my Mac, and it was a 2015 Mac. It did not have the power to run it at all. So like because it was 2015 as well. It was quite an old Mac. So like the CPU power was not great for it. So I did a few of those. Then I did a D&D stream, and then I moved off of streaming from my Mac onto my PlayStation, because my PlayStation could handle it. Did the party games there, streamed some other stuff. So I think I done some stuff like Need for Speed. There were a bunch of games I was playing. If it wasn't a party game, it was some game I was playing with Don Yule at the time, before he became a big PC man. We used to play games quite frequently together, so we'd stream like maybe GTA Racing or something along those lines. But yeah, then gradually upgraded. I'm here with my PC doing a little bit of everything. Less of the party stuff these days, just because I think people are less interested in it. And I want to make content that. Yeah,
I mean, apparently, Jackbox is really, really popular at the moment. Like, I've had quite a few people turn around and mention Jackbox party games.
Yeah, but I think, at least from my experience, I played it when COVID was happening, so it very much was a situation where more people were getting involved, because there was less of a social life thing. And I think the days I've chosen to stream are not ideal days, really, because they're like days now where the restrictions are being lifted, at least here in the UK. A lot of my UK base aren't really staying around, because they'll be off doing their own social life stuff. So it's partly, I think, where my audience is at the moment. I think also part of the issue is hours of stream. So whereas it doesn't really satisfy the UK lot, it satisfies more of the US lot. And when at least having a look at analytics, that kind of picks up at around 11. And I'm in a shared household, so I cannot really be streaming much beyond 11. I stream up to about midnight usually. But
I mean, I've joined your streams before many a times, man, and you've been past midnight in the UK.
Yeah, but I think there's a couple of differences there. So initially I was running downstairs, so those streams would run a lot later when I was downstairs, whereas I'm now upstairs. There's bedrooms near, so I had a bit more flexibility then. But when I moved my PlayStation upstairs, for those party, because I've got Jackbox on my PlayStation now, and I've also, because I'm now streaming from my bedroom where the PC setup is, it generally means I can't go on ridiculously late as much as I used to. I do sometimes go beyond midnight, but often not usually beyond like 1:30. And I think it depends how people are feeling. I also try and finish a bit earlier before it dips off, because I want to give some sort of excitement to someone else when I raid over. I don't want to just end with like maybe like 3 people coming on to raid. Like obviously those guys, like it's good to have them for support, but I really like to get the hype going as much as possible. I like to.
Man, I hate to say it, bro, but you can't think that way. Like raiding in with 3 people is still an amazing thing.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. But I always look at, I want to try and make things as big and this is the part of the problem I had with streaming over the course of my time, is I try and make things big and exciting. So I always end up giving myself a lot of work, and I'm trying to be like, right, I want to go and make the best event for people on my Friday streams or whatever, or I want to raid out with like excitement and get people to sort of really hype up someone else's channel or stuff like that. And it's not knocking anyone, absolutely, but it's just I always set myself these really hard goals to achieve. But I like to push myself in that aspect, I think.
But that's a big part of content creation, though, isn't it? You've always got to push yourself, because in essence, content creation in itself is a full-time job, even if you have a full-time job. Because if you want to succeed at it, or at least attempt to succeed in it, or see some growth from it, you have to put in a lot of effort in order to sort of grasp that.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I mean, the world of content creation is a crazy place. I mean, did you ever think when you first turned on a camera that streaming would be what it is right now? I didn't know it would entail everything that it entails.
Yeah, no, I can definitely say that I wasn't. I think it depends what we're talking about when we say like it wasn't what I was expecting.
So
it's not like, for me, it's not like when I say it's not what I was expecting that it's a bad thing. I think it's a combination of there's more to what it entails, and also more in terms of the outcome that you expect, because you kind of start off thinking, oh, I'm just streaming to have a bit of fun with a couple of mates and all that. And sort of seeing how interconnected communities can be, that's something that kind of took me by surprise.
Yeah, I mean, if we're being honest, you never switch off from your Discord, because you're always talking to everyone and making friends with inside of it, or you'll be playing games with them, stuff like that. And that's just the Discord. That's a 24/7 thing, unless for whatever reason you physically cannot due to work or something like that. But then there's also the aspects of content creation outside of your channel and growing your social medias, whether it be, no matter what it is, and putting time and effort in there. But then there's not only that, you're also in other people's streams that you enjoy as well. So and then you're also working on your stream and your channel points and innovating, and it literally is like a full-time job in itself. It's just lucky that the job is so much fun that it doesn't feel like work.
Yeah, I think the problem is, though, like, I can still get burnout from these things. Like, it's something that I always try. I look at my time management and I always think I can always do better, because for me at least, when it comes to content creation, I put a lot of time into the creation aspect and maybe not as much into sort of publication of it. So I do all this sort of big setup. So like one of the big projects I had was Who Wants to Be a Millionaire thing that I used to do at the beginning of each month. Made it a bit fish branded as part of sort of my image. So like the Fillionaire was what it was called.
The Fillionaire.
Yeah.
I love it.
But like with that, I put so much time into preparing the event. And then the event would go, and generally the events would be successful. The last one I did was less so, and actually that was part of the reason why I was like, right, I'm not going to be doing the Fridays as much.
Right.
But anyway, the times it has worked, it's been like, oh yeah, this is great. But then I have yet still to upload that content onto YouTube, for example. So it's great that I had an impact on the night, but it's now, how do I take that success on the night and continue it so that it then gets me new viewers that can then participate in those events as well, increase the community, so we have like a proper big community that we can get everyone to come and support each other. And yeah, it's a bit of a challenge, I'd say.
Yeah, I mean, the whole social media aspect of it all, though, I mean, I feel like every other TikTok that I watch that's on my For You page is streamers talking about the importance of creating content outside of Twitch. But I'm going to be honest here and flip it. And all the growth I've seen on my social medias is because of my Twitch. Not my Twitch has grown because of my social media. My social media has grown because of my Twitch account. And whilst I understand to a degree what they're saying, but that doesn't mean to say that that is the only way to grow a Twitch channel. Like posting on other social medias. I've always looked at other social medias as their own entity. So these social media platforms, YouTube and etc. I'm growing a community on those platforms, and if a byproduct is that the people who have chosen to subscribe to me on YouTube or follow me on Instagram is that they make their way over to my Twitch channel to join my live streams, then that's fantastic. But I'm not looking at these social medias as a pathway to my live stream, because to be honest with you, there's only one app that I've ever had people come from and say, hey, I saw you on this app. Do you know what app that is?
Hover?
Hover. That's right, man.
Knew it.
Hover.
Absolutely. Because I know you're a big man on Hover in terms of like really pushing out that content there. I find it's weird because I uploaded for a bit and then I got busy with other side jobs. And then I found that even though I stopped uploading, I was still getting active, not necessarily follows onto Twitch, but I was getting like a passive follower base. On Hover at least, which then obviously opens up the possibility for someone to then look at your content and go, all right, I'm going to go tune into his stream now. So I think that's quite interesting. And I find it interesting as well on Hover because it's very much, it definitely is a reward system of the more you put in, the more you get out. Because then the more gravity you get, which is the currency, and the more gravity you have, which again, the currency, the more likely you are to climb up the leaderboard, and people, if they wanted to have a flick through, they can go, oh, okay, this guy, I wonder what his content's like.
You know, gravity has no effect on you anymore. It's not an entity of anything.
Does it not?
No, they got rid of it. They scrapped it. So the whole point of gravity on Hover was to be able to push more undiscovered content creators. I don't like using the word small streamer, so more undiscovered content creators. So the more you interacted with the app, the more you interacted with other videos, the more gravity you'd have. The more gravity you had, the more the algorithm would push your content out there. So rather than it being a small net of people that first see it, and if it doesn't do well, it dies off and never to be seen again, it would push it to a larger pool, and it would grow larger and larger and larger depending on the amount of gravity you had. Now, I thought that was great, but at the same time, there was very much an evil side to this. And that was due to the fact that you're forcing false engagement on people's videos by doing this, because every content creator that isn't partnered or hasn't got a massive viewer base, it's just going to be like, scroll on, GG, scroll on, and they're just going to do it to everyone. And whilst you think, oh my God, someone's liked my video, chances are in the days when gravity was a thing, it was probably false engagement, and there's nothing worse.
So I'm interested. I'm not sure if it's the fact I've not got mine updated, but they're still showing gravity as a currency still there. I suppose it's more how important it affects you in terms of the whole discover page. It
doesn't affect you at all. It really doesn't. Gravity is still there.
You've got the leaderboard and the currency there, but
it was Hover that announced this, because the Hover have a Twitch account and they do these competitions. Well, every now and again they do a Q&A with like Xander, who's one of the owners of Hover, and he was like, yeah, gravity doesn't do anything for your algorithm anymore. We completely removed that. And so did Jay from Hover. He said the same thing.
Yeah, no, I was going to say Jay, I know from Hover. Okay, so in terms of it affecting your algorithm, okay, I was going to say I didn't really realize the importance of gravity on algorithm. I thought gravity was more of a indicator of how much you interact, because it still is a metric in a way for how much you engage in the platform and how much other people engage in your content. Obviously, it's kind of all it is a metric showing how much you use the platform, but beyond that, that's
exactly. Welcome in, Dextrom. Welcome in. Thank you so much for joining the stream.
Yeah, Dextrom, how are you doing, boy?
Is this someone from your community, bro?
He is. He's a very wonderful man. He is possibly the most dedicated person from, like, I say day one. I don't think Dex was quite day one, but I like to consider him a day one streamer, because of all the people who have stuck from the stream, he's been the most consistent in turning up to all my streams. So he is definitely VIP Chad of the month every month.
Okay. Well, can I just ask everyone from the Here No fam, can we show some love right now to Dextrom coming in here, first time chatter in the building? Can we get some love out there? You already know what time it is, guys. It's time to show that Here No love. Yeah, I already know. Thank you so much for joining, bro. I appreciate you coming through and showing support for your boy Yo Filet. That's right. But yeah, see, Hover kind of bores me, like in the sense that everyone who watches your video on Hover is a content creator. And whether people like to admit this or not, and I know this is quite a forbidden thing to say in the Twitch world, but every streamer is out to grow their own community. Of course they are. Why wouldn't they be? They wouldn't be on the platform if they weren't. And the problem that I have with Hover, and this, I'm not saying this is to everybody, because I've met some pretty cool people out there from Hover that I have stayed in consistent contact with, and it's not just because it's some support for support method, because I ain't down with that. If I like your content, I'll be in your stream. If I don't like it, I'm not going to be in your stream. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah. But it can develop this like follow for follow basis, because I bet you if you were to go onto Hover now and follow 100 people, I guarantee you people will follow you back, and to me that's no good.
See, I try to not do that. I try and only follow people who I've chosen to visit, because I've made the effort to go out. If people have followed me, I tend to take more of the thought process of, this person's shown an interest in me, that's brilliant. But because I get concerned about the follow for follow mentality as well. I don't want to just be another, because this is the thing, is follows are good and all, but if they're not producing meaningful engagement, then all you're doing is just boosting statistics. It's just inflating those numbers. I know I've seen a few people and heard, like, either if they've spoken through Twitch or on Twitter or some other platforms, and there's one person who does come to mind. I think when there's like this big push for partner and they get like all this massive like statistics, because obviously you need to average out at 75 viewers, but then they notice a massive dip off because they're just trying to encourage that level of support, and then as soon as milestone's been reached, it's kind of like a oof. But that's kind of things like follow for follow kind of adds up to sort of some of those issues of inflated numbers. And again, it comes down to meaningful interaction.
Well, that's it though, isn't it? I mean, I was on Daniel's podcast and we spoke about this, and ultimately the follower number you have on your Twitch channel is the least important metric on your stream.
Oh yeah, I think it gives you an idea of sort of fan base, like what size of community you may be dealing with. But for like a newcomer, this is. But in terms of saying, "Oh, I've got this," it's sort of the same issue you've seen with other YouTubers when they are like YouTube musicians. I use the term musicians lightly because my definition of a YouTube musician is possibly different to what the general public might think, because they probably will think of people like Rice Gum, KSI, Jake Paul, whereas I tend to think of actual musicians like
Led Zeppelin.
No, not necessarily Led Zeppelin, but like Andrew Huang, Boy in a Band, Rob Scallon, those sorts of people. Ignoring I say actual musicians. Some of the guys who are big are still sort of musicians, I would say, like KSI. But one of the arguments with the sort of more ego-based artists, again, aka rappers like Rice Gum, KSI, is that they've made a point of this before on stuff like Spotify, for example, where you can have like an X amount of followers. So you might be having like 200,000 people following you, or a million people following you, but monthly listeners is the most important metric on that, because that goes to show how much people are engaging. So if you've got 1 million people with like, I don't know, 10,000 active listeners, it's not as good, and also shows a big concern versus the man with maybe 200,000 but with 100,000 monthly listeners, because that shows he's got an active base listening to his music, which is that's the most important, is seeing people who are engaging with you. Because when you're got people who followed and not engaging, that goes to show you that they've fallen out. They don't love your content anymore. So why is it that? What have you done that's sort of bored them? Like, you've, in some aspects, we're here to be friends.
Yeah.
Friends, like, because you're trying to meet people and have a great community and have fun with these guys. But at the same time, you've got to think of, I think, depending on what you're trying to get out of the platform. Obviously, if you're just trying to make friends, it doesn't matter. You're not on Twitch to be big. You're there to sort of meet people. And if you meet people, you do. And if you don't, then you just still have fun. So you can be like that, or you can be someone who's like, I want to kind of do this a bit more as a job and be an entertainer. And then when you sort of fall into that group, you then got to think of a bit more like a businessman. And like, obviously you still keep some of the, I want to grow the community, I want to treat you like people. That bit will always be a fundamental, because as soon as you stop treating people like people, you're going to have it. It's an uphill battle. There's no real way you're going to be able to earn people's interest.
Yeah,
and their respect as well, which is the more important thing. But you do, if you are trying to make it like a business, you kind of got to think, what content am I making? Is it entertaining? And how can I get people entertained? Because if you're then trying to make daily content, but you're not actually making things that are getting people interested, it's going back to that thing, in fact, when I've said about someone coming into your stream and you might say hi and they don't say anything. That's not entertaining. You're ultimately, people are going out of their way to watch you over some other person on YouTube or TV because they want to be entertained by the content you've got. That's ultimately what at least some people on Twitch are trying to be, are entertainers. So you've kind of got to step up and be that sort of entertainer that really gets people interested in your content.
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing with Twitch is entertainment value, and if you're not bringing entertainment value, interaction and stuff like that as a smaller content creator, then you're not going to succeed on the platform. And if you're going into the live streams with the mentality of, I'm doing this as a business, I want to make money from it, then everyone will be able to see that. Everyone will be able to see that.
Oh yeah.
Like, if you go into it with this whole just people can see it and people get turned off by it. If I went into a stream and it's like, people's about me sections, are a big indication of what this person is about. And so many streamers out there on their about me only have a donate button. That's it, just a donate button, nothing else. There's no time, no effort put into it. It's just a donate button.
It's that stereotypical, and I know TikTok and other platforms have made note of this, but it's that stereotypical prime sub me bitch mentality. Like the, oh, you guys, you have Amazon Prime because you obviously want to do commerce, but easier for you. Oh, that means you have a free sub to give, and I'm entitled to that. And that's not at all the mentality you should be taking. People are not a piggy bank.
No, exactly.
I mean, you can take that view and look at them metaphorically as a piggy bank, because if they give money to you, then that's how you're getting the support. But that's not the healthy way to take that mentality, because then it's as you said, it translates into content. And so then you end up making this, like, well, it's not even just the content you make as well, it's personality. A lot of what people invest in on Twitch is the personality. Obviously, you might go to look at a pro player do some awesome flicks, or a musician play some really innovative content on their streams. But at the end of the day, you're tuning into something like Twitch because it's very personality driven. And if you are very pro money in that situation, it's gonna come off in your personality, and it's not at all tasteful. I know I can't really think of Twitch as much in terms of examples, but I can think back to the content cop that iDubbbz did on Rice Gum, and you looked at his content, very much it translated into a screw you, everyone who's watching me. I'm going to use this as an opportunity to earn money from ads, which you guys fuel, and I will get the most ludicrous, expensive shit and flex it on all of you because you all cannot afford it.
Oh, don't, man. Honestly.
Like that, so, like, it just doesn't translate well at all. It just makes you look very egotistical. And I mean, in the case of iDubbbz's content cop, it kind of does give you people to look at and go, yikes, what's happened to you along the way?
Yeah, I mean, have you ever raided into someone and they've hit you with an advert immediately? They've run an ad on you with the raid.
I fortunately haven't.
I have.
Yeah, no, I've been fortunate in when I've found people, I've kind of looked at their stuff, and then generally speaking, it's like, oh yeah, they really want to kind of pull me in and the community in and sort of welcome me. So I've been fortunate in that situation to not be. I'm curious about your scenario.
So this has happened to me twice. I will never raid these people again. I've been very, very blessed in the fact that I've seen my my view count rise. Okay. I'm very, very fortunate to it, and I love, like every streamer, raiding out. I like to raid. If I can stream 3 days a week, which is the goal, I will raid to twice a week to people I know, then once a week to someone random that I don't know, because that's how I met Don Yule. He raided me. I didn't know him, and now we're great mates because of it.
Well, I was going to say it's the great way. I mean, you can view it as networking or sort of meeting friends, but ultimately, you are giving someone an opportunity to
grow their viewership with your community. Well, of course you are. Yeah,
it's an opportunity in any situation, whether it's an opportunity to make a friend, an opportunity to help grow their channel, or to get some of their viewers to come along to you. Obviously, you shouldn't go into someone's stream to bring viewers, because that's you do see that where people will raid and then they follow and they get everyone to follow. It's a very nice first stream, and then they'll come back and be like, oh yeah, by the way, I'm streaming. And you're like, cool, but I'm streaming right now. So I guess I may say hello to you later, but then you kind of guilt trip them in that sense. But yeah, going back to it, I think it is an opportunity to make friends and to help support each other. You grow a support network. I think obviously if it doesn't click the first time you've given someone sort of a boost in viewers for the night, you've kind of helped them out in terms of giving your audience someone to maybe be interested in down the line. You've given it a go, but on the chances it does work, you end up making great mates and having opportunities to then do fun collaborative streams. So I can think of a couple. I've been very fortunate recently because I think I was a little bit attached to a certain streamer when I started, and after a while I ended up drifting away a bit, and it's kind of finding your feet to try and be a bit more independent. And I think I've been fortunate in the people I've raided and who have raided me. We've actually engaged in each other's community, and we've then also been able to do collaborative events. There's a guy called Games for Days. His tag is Games for Days 2 because Games for Days got taken, sadly. But he's the sort of he's a guy who came down to the stream. It was a Far Cry stream. We had some fun, chatted. I tuned into him. And we ended up just chatting and having, he was a great, kind soul, and it's just worked out. And then we ended up having a Fall Guys stream where we both sort of collaborated, and it was a great time. And we still sort of reach out to each other's communities, which I think is really cool.
No, that's great that you were able to make those relationships from that. That's amazing. But yeah, I raided into someone random and they hit me with an ad after being in their stream for 20 seconds. Immediate ad. And I went in there with about 15 people. and they hit me with an ad. And it's just like, you were sat there with one viewer. How can you do this to us? Like, why are you hitting us with an ad?
I suppose, I mean, if they do that on intentionally, then the timing shows that it's intentional, then that's a bit scummy.
Yeah, it is. So it is very intentional.
Some of it can be down to pre-rolls, which I know some people will have left on, some people won't. I try and have pre-rolls on just so that there's no ad breaks in the middle of my streams. I know some people say don't do that, because if you disable pre-rolls, then it actually interferes less with stream. I'm less clued up on that side of things, but my understanding was pre-rolls are the only thing that you should have on.
Well, I have control of my ads. I've said when Twitch can roll an ad, obviously within what they set as the limits within. So it's every hour an ad will roll. Every hour on my stream an ad will roll. And that's just the way it is. I've tried to limit it as much as I can, and I've maxed it as in terms of distance and limited as much of the ad as I can. But ultimately, Twitch have a say so. But you can always tell the difference between a pre-roll ad and someone who's forced an ad between the two. Because I've seen streamers who have ad channel points. Streamers who have like run an ad, and I've done it to a streamer before. I've pressed run an ad, and then they ran the ad, and I saw what happened, and it says this person is taking an ad break, please stand by. It minimizes the streamer's window. This is on a phone, minimizes the streamer's window, and then runs the ad. Whereas when it's a Twitch advert and it's Twitch that's in control of this, it just takes over the whole screen. Like when you join a stream, it just takes over the whole screen.
Yeah. See, that's why I tend to want to do pre-rolls, because I don't want people to be as interrupted. I remember my attitude on ads changed massively, because as soon as I got access to ads, it was like, right, if I go away from the computer, ad break. If I do this, ad break. Whereas now it's like, well, the amount of money you get from ads is so minimal. Like, it only really works if you've got a larger audience base. And obviously people aren't, like, if you're on a break, people aren't going to necessarily be missing out on anything, but it's still pretty obnoxious to see an ad come up on your stream. So I've taken the attitude of less ads, more for the people.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they apparently, if you run an ad the moment you start your stream, it disables the pre-roll ad. So I've heard.
Oh yeah, it does it for half an hour, disable for pre-roll. Which I suppose is maybe the one benefit of running it in an ad break, is that it disables pre-roll for anyone new coming in.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. This is the weird game of it, because you're trying to make it not obnoxious for your audience. I mean, if you want to make money from ads, then it's being sensible about it. But more often, for at least people who are like not partners, like anyone who's an affiliate, it's just trying to make the viewer experience as least obnoxious and as most entertaining for people.
I agree completely, but also on the flip side of this, you've got people have to understand that as a streamer, there's only so much you can do to control that, and ultimately, even yourself as a viewer or myself as a viewer, if we don't want those ads, there's only one way to get rid of them, and that's subscribe to the person's channel. So mean, I will subscribe to people's channel that I can be involved in a lot, and then I never get hit with an advert. Never get hit with an advert, as I'm sure you do the same thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say Jake's put Amanita JTV's put that mentality, which I've tried to, which I've only really sort of thought about now, which was about only running ads during a break to disable pre-rolls. So, I mean, obviously that's possibly the best way to sort of go about it if you ever do end up thinking, do I run an ad here or there? I suppose the advantage to that as well is you purposely choose the shortest ad length so that it does the disable pre-roll, but you then also don't give your viewers like this massive long 2-minute, oh, have you heard of Audible? All that jazz.
Yeah, I mean, I just need to address this real quick. Grand Admiral, if you ever need any help, man, with technology, just hit me up on Discord, bro. I'm always willing to help and always happy to help. And Apollo Carey, no, I'm not paying £2 to Twitch per person to remove ads. It's a byproduct of being subscribed to their channel is that it's adless content. The whole point of subscribing to someone's channel, though, is to support the content creator. That's right.
No, it shouldn't be a gated opportunity. Like, it should be something that people want to do. Obviously, subscribing does take away those ads. It kind of makes that viewership ever so slightly more smoother, but that shouldn't be the reason why someone subscribes. People should do it for the emotes, so that they can show that they are a supporter on your channel, that they want to get involved in your community content. Like, if you're literally trying to make it so that people only subscribe because there's an ad barrier, that's, again, it just comes down to that whole idea of it just comes off as really obnoxious.
Yeah, no, I mean, this is bringing me on to another thing. I kind of want to step away from this like advert revenue conversation. And yeah. I wanna know more about you and your channel, man. Like, yes. I am enjoying this, and I'm seeing what people are writing here. Like, yes, there is Twitch Turbo, which disables ads like YouTube Premium, which not many people do know that's even a thing, which is really good. Heroic Jewel, I am extremely jealous of the fact that you have honeycomb ice cream and Milky Bar chocolate bits.
Oh,
I need that in my life right now.
I've got a suggestion, by the way.
Yeah,
Mr. PJ. I think what would be a really cool idea, just to improve chat interaction ever so slightly, is I've got a thing where you can change the color of my light bulb, and I'm thinking, what if we get the wonderful audience to change it by using the highlight message and saying the color?
Yeah, sure. I mean, guys, if you want Yo Filet to change his light color, then highlight the message and say what color you want it changing into, and then you all know the command for changing my lights through the stream. And Lee Swackington wants pink. Grand Admiral said has changed me to orange, but it hasn't worked. I don't think orange is in it, Grand Admiral. Let me bring up the Lumia. There you go. There's the Lumia. So we've got pink and orange for yours.
Oh, we've got an orange. Gosh, this is then when half the stream becomes people redeeming color changes. Oh yeah, pink. All right, so what's the next question? Oh wait, no, hang on, yellow. Oh yeah, so next question. Oh sorry, green.
people be making it all like Apollo Carey's running amok on my LEDs right now. They can't keep up. We're making them go RGB. Yo, 95.2. I've had my headphones nearly fell off my head. You screamed it that loud.
I was like, ah!
Yeah, if you get 98% or higher on the drop game, which happens on my normal streams, then you get a free gifted sub to the channel.
Yeah, I think that's the highest I've got. Like whenever I've done tuned in and gone for a drop, there's Apollo saying, "You don't mind us playing this game instead, right?" Yeah, no, that's it, guys. It's stream over. We're doing. I'm
just gonna leave. I'm just gonna leave words on stream for y'all. That's it. I'm just gonna leave it up and leave it on all night for y'all to play words with stream.
Also, I have noticed that there are some people who have said some very nice words. So thank you all for being entertained by my presence, and I've hoped you've all enjoyed the stream.
Yeah, thank you so much. Awesome, good to see you. Hey, what's going on, Club Wig, man? Welcome in. I see you, bro. How you doing? Thank you for joining us over here on the podcast. Another guy I've got coming on the podcast as well. I mean, we've got Don Yule next week. I have a list.
Yes, I was gonna say I knew Don was coming on, but I didn't know when he was. But yeah. That's
I've got Don Yule next week. Then the week after, I've got Scotty Rodden. The week after that, I've got Grand Admiral Quack. The week after that, I've got Mr. and Mrs. Prophet DNA. Then I've got BL Mazari, and then I've got Vex Electronica. Then I've got Bobby, Rob Meister General's coming on, and then I've got Claude Wig.
You should get Lee Swaggington on. He doesn't stream, but you know you should just get him on so he can complain about something.
See this Twitch podcast that I've brought isn't just for streamers. it's also about speaking to viewers. So I've had you Lucky on, and it was very interesting to hear things from a pure viewers aspect, and finding out what they look for in a Twitch streamer, what makes them stay, what makes them go further and join their Discord, become a part of their community, what makes them want to subscribe to a channel, and so on and so forth. And it was really, really interesting to discover all this. And then because he's from Australia, we set aside a segment at the end about what life is like living with the world's most deadliest and dangerous animals.
That's brilliant.
So yeah, but we're back, we're live, we're good, we're gonna crack on with this. So I want to know, how would you describe your stream to someone that's never been in it before?
Chaotic.
Why chaotic?
It's quite literally, I mean, if you've been fortunate to see some of the clips or videos that I've put up on my channel, you'll have seen that they are just, it's either chaos in the game or it's chaos around my stream in one way, shape or form, but it's always entertainment. I was going to say there was recently when I introduced a point redemption thing, I basically worked in Mix It Up, which is a program that allows you to do various things with your OBS sort of.
I use Mix It Up. Mix It Up is the bomb.
Yeah.
I've got a lot of people using Mixing Up now because I tell them how awesome it is.
It's so useful. Like, it's insane. I use it to trigger. I know you can use point redemptions to trigger overlays, but I prefer a bit more control. So what I use is a custom command which does the same thing, but it triggers sources to turn on and off.
Right. Okay.
Just then I can position where on the screen a point redemption can be. So one of my point redemptions, I was actually talking about this to an interviewer yesterday because I had a job interview yesterday, and I was saying how actually there's one I've got of iDubbbz where he comes into my my camera overlay, opens up a tape measure across my forehead and goes, "Wow, this is big, impressive." So it's all sorts of chaos. There is a TikTok clip. I should actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to look it up because I know you said that there's a thing which you can, like a segment where you can swap over to sort of preview things. But there is a clip where I let people test out the new point redemptions, and it was just chaos. It was just absolute chaos, and I did have to put on some like limitations for people, but it was honestly it's quite entertaining to see the resulting chaos.
So apparently you have a lot of technical issues.
I do have technical issues. Part of that is down to my wonderful PC. I mean, to be honest, I've ironed most of them out. One of the big problems I have, and this is something I think I need to get rid of from my setup, is a USB extender. Except it just overloads the entirety of my USB port. So then all my
it not? Have you not got it plugged into a separate power source?
I do have it plugged into a separate power source as well. I don't know whether it's a wattage issue or something, but I've generally more and more phased it out of my setup because a lot of what I try and do, whether it's streaming or whether it's something that I do for my own personal use, I like to create options so there's the flexibility to I like having like flexible workflows. So I try to have like a USB extender which would go into a USB switcher, which I could then use for music purposes. So I could stream using my Mac, so I could press my USB switcher. I'll be doing everything sort of music creation on my Mac, and then use the USB switcher to come back to my PC to do anything in terms of making sure I swap scenes on OBS. Right. Except as I've mentioned, it's just created a lot of problems in the fact that on my computer I actually have, I don't know why my Mac is fine, but my computer just doesn't handle it. I've often swapped it so it's in a USB 3.0 slot instead of a 2.0, but it's just problematic. So I've generally tried to use it less and less. I've tended to try and remove problematic things, because whilst it was funny the first time, obviously if you keep having technical issues, people are just going to be like, this doesn't
work. I mean, it's funny. Yeah, it's funny a couple of times, but once you get past that, it's kind of like, yeah, I'm out. I've had enough of this.
It disrupts the flow of the stream. Like, you want to watch someone for entertainment, and it's like, haha, it's gone wrong. But then when you've had that happen like 200th time, you're like, okay, can you please sort your shit out?
But I will say this though, you are not a streamer unless you have faced problems in your live.
I think the only times someone probably hasn't had an issue, and even then they've probably had issues, but they've had quick workarounds, is like proper production teams. When I was doing my Who Wants to Be a Fillionaire episode, there was a community project, something called Pro Video, right. And they did their own Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. No prizes. It was just for the fun of it. And I looked at the guy who did his OBS on that channel, and it's like he had proper triggers, like proper monitoring windows, as if he was like a proper broadcaster. So that was, I think in those situations you tend to avoid a lot of issues, because you've got your sort of your talent on the screen who's managing all the Discord, and you've got the broadcaster who's focusing on all the technicals. Where you get issues with independent streamers is where they try and do everything at once, and it's just the nature of Twitch streaming. When you're trying to be talent and broadcaster and moderator, it's a lot of tasks going on in one that you're having to sort of do parallel processing with. And it's not easy by any means. Like, it definitely takes time and experience.
Yeah, and absolutely. A big shout out to all the mods out there, like Mr. Rami Woo Woo. Oh, yeah. I'd be lost without Mr. Rami Woo Woo, and then we've welcomed Tomo onto my moderating team as well. But yeah, like, whilst I am capable of moderating my channel, Ram just does a fucking phenomenal job at running my stream from behind the scenes. And yeah, now
they make it more manageable, and there's less things to go wrong. I think that again, it goes back to that issue: is as the more things are going to go wrong, the more you're trying to juggle all at once. So the more you can try and consolidate what your job is, the easier it's going to be, and the less likely something's going to go wrong, because you're not then having to. Because like when you have hiccups, everyone has hiccups, but you're less likely to notice the hiccups when you're like, oh, this has gone wrong, I'm going to do this, sorted, and you can let the talent continue discussing and all that. Whereas when you are literally everything in terms of talent, moderator, and broadcaster, you're having to put one task on hold. So you're like, oh no, this has gone wrong, hang on guys, and you're kind of trying to waffle whilst you're trying to also think through how you're going around trying to repair whatever has gone wrong with your OBS.
Yeah, but I mean, there's even a moderator can't have any effect on that, on what's going on with your OBS. That is purely down to you. And what you would hope is, as a streamer, is that your community and the people within your stream would understand that you are going to have to spend a minute or two to figure out what the hell is going on. And sometimes I've gone live and my OBS has dropped frames that harshly that I've had to load my stream in like 4 times, and then it still kept dropping frames, and I've just had to end the stream and be like, sorry guys, OBS just isn't having it.
I've had that a few times where my just all my USB, like I often have it where
is Lee Swaggington your moderator by any chance?
He's one of my moderators. He is. Okay. I swear, I've been saying, because he's ended up moderating. I think he's mod on Don Yule's channel. I don't think he's quite moderator on Amanita JTV's, but he will point out a lot of issues. Like, he's just #1 mod. He's like, I think at least less on. I know he's less confident on the Discord stuff, but he can still go through and like when it comes to someone either needs to have like a command dropped in, you're trying to promote this, or someone's been a bit of a troublesome troublemite on the stream. He will be straight onto purging. He is he is like number one moderator.
I just want to say this: number one moderator on your guys' channel. Because Ram is the best damn mod on Twitch. I'm just pointing out there, Ram runs and operates so much of my stream, so much of my Discord, whilst managing his own stream and his own Discord. And he also mods on other people's channels as well.
You do get, I think, some of the best mods are fellow streamers. I never really understood this when one of my older mates who streams very much... said it like, because I was like, oh, I'm sort of a mate, well, why not this? But it is, I think when you have another streamer, they understand the things that can go wrong with a stream and some of the things you need to look out for. So like it's I know, for example, like Amanita JTV, I don't know, have you come across him?
Yeah, I know Jake.
He's been, yeah, I was going to say he's been in the chat, Jake has.
Yeah, I know Jake.
But like, I've noticed for Dan, for example, Jake does a lot of moderating for that. He's helped set up a lot of Dan's Discord things in terms of the technicals and all that. And so Jake's a really good mod for, like, I think it's like you have your one dedicated streamer to mod your channels. I need to go through and have a look at mine. Mine's always changed a bit. I think if I was to say a moderator who is a dedicated streamer, that would also be Jake for me. But in terms of most of the moderation, I do see a lot of that from Lee Swaggington. Yeah. But you do find that if you get streamers who moderate, they know a lot of the technicals, so they're really good at letting you know what you need to do.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it is quite important that your moderator has streamed in some way, shape or form, because they understand what's going on. I also think it's important that a moderator knows your channel. Like, I ran my channel without a moderator for some time before I asked Ram would he like to do it. I would just like to say welcome, Ray. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining the stream. I appreciate you coming through. I hope you're doing well. I hope you find this fun and informative. I really do appreciate you coming through. So thank you so much for joining the stream, buddy. But I do honestly think a moderator needs to be a part of your community for some time, show up to a lot of your streams so that you know they're consistently reliable as a moderator. And also they understand what your channel is about. So, for example, everyone's stream is different. So there might be certain things I allow on my stream that you wouldn't allow on your stream, but your moderator would know that because they've been in your stream before you made them a mod.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think, and that's partly why Lee's one of my best moderators, is because he has been around since day one. Like, if we talk about, I tend to think of day one viewers as, I try and discount people I know in real life because they're my friends. So of course they'll probably be there from day one. But if we look at day one and sort of contribution, Lee has been there, and it has been a massive support network in that. He showed up not to the first stream, but he was on with the second stream, and then gradually got involved a lot in the party streams. And that's actually how he became a mod. Was I think by the time I hit affiliate, it's like, right, I need to have help managing some of these things. I can't really do it on the PlayStation. Could you help me out? And so Lee's been a massive support network in that sense.
So how many mods would you consider acceptable versus viewers? So, for example, I have two moderators. I've got Ram, who is my main moderator. He's my moderator and my channel editor. And then I've got Tomo, who supports Ram as and where Ram needs it. And for me, I feel I don't need any more than two moderators for my channel. Not at the size of channel I have.
Yeah, no, I've got more, but it tends to be down to availability more than anything. So I think if you're looking at moderator per people, 1 per 5 or 10 people is more than enough, because more often than not, 5 or 10 people are not actively chatting all the time. If you're getting about 10 active chatters, maybe you need 2 people because the likelihood is you're going to start missing messages. But how many do I have? I need to actually go through and have a look on.
Wow, you don't even know how many mods you've got, bro. This is not a time to not know your info. Just saying.
I can name you who are my mods, but it's more of a situation of naming the exact, because I have to rack through. I could probably tell you. So I've got Jake. I believe I've got Dan still. He's been less in the stream, so I've been trying to. People have been less involved in the stream. I've been trying to sort of reel back on. Dex is a mod. I know he's a mod. So yeah, Lee, Dex, Jake, Dan, I think maybe still a mod. And then there's someone who's sort of an honorary mod, though I may have stuck them down to VIP. I'm not sure. See, this is the thing is I've been going through changes recently in terms of how I do my managing. So it's not like I don't know the number of people because I've forgotten people. It's more I've changed positions around so much that I don't actively know because the numbers keep changing. So I try and make sure that my moderation team is as relevant and suitable as possible.
Okay. So
that and half my bots are moderators. I forget that. That's
yeah,
why
but we don't talk about the bots though. The bots are there because you've implemented certain things. Like I have a bot mod in my channel because of Brian TTS. I have a bot mod in my channel to stop people from spamming. But if you're a VIP, you bypass this for some reason. I have a bot mod in there because it allows people to song request stuff. Like I have so many bot mods, and then I've got Mix It Up, which is IG88 on my chat. That's Mix It Up.
I have named all my mods. It's just one of them. The honorary mod is, but yeah, pretty much everyone I named as a mod.
So, have you ever been in a situation where have you ever had a dead chat? So you might have had lurkers, but have you ever had a dead chat, and how did you handle it? What did you do to get through your stream with a dead chat?
I would be surprised if no one has had a dead chat at one point. Unless you start, I think the only way you circumvent a dead chat from the get-go is having a really strong, promising IP. So I don't know if you've heard of someone called Code Miko.
Nope.
Like, she is a VTuber who has a lot of chat interaction. So I don't know how what her early streams were like, but I can tell for a certain, like, she boomed and kept that a consistent number because there's always things to do in terms of chat interaction and changing the model. So I think the only way you avoid that from the get-go is having a really promising IP in terms of what you bring as a streamer.
How did you handle having a dead chat? What did you do? Because there's going to be there might be people in here or people who watch this in the VOD or watch it on YouTube when I post it on YouTube that are just starting out, and they might be in a situation where they have a dead chat. So how did you handle it?
So I've definitely had a few times I've had a dead chat. I don't really think there's a lot you can do to remedy that other than how you deal with the situation. So it's not like you can suddenly sort of put a needle into your chat and boom, you finally got chat interaction. I think there are things you can do to prompt.
What?
There's things you can do to prompt chat. So things that I've done before. So, I mean, I think first of all, being able to learn how to waffle helps. The more you can waffle, even if you're not necessarily making sense, it shows that you're a chatty streamer. People would rather engage with someone who's actively talking than someone who's just stonewall quiet. Because if it's stonewall quiet, then people are less likely to say, "Hi, how are you?"
Yeah, exactly.
So there are things you can do to prompt people to chat. Stuff like interaction, like point. I would say point rewards have definitely helped. I mean, you have to break through to affiliate to get those point redemptions.
Yeah, but in order to break through affiliate, though, surely by that point you would have at least one active chatter.
Yeah, but sometimes I think it can be surprising because, again, it's like with, as I said earlier, with the whole partner thing, you can sort of partly inflate your numbers up and then have a massive sort of deflation.
Yeah.
So I think, okay, so really what I would say is having channel points, once you get to that point, helps to retain chatters as opposed to you've got a dead chat, you now need to use points to help sort of reinvigorate it. It's more of it will help make sure chat isn't as quiet, because then you're getting people interact, and that's part of the thing that people do. You don't always necessarily want, not everyone will be wanting to interact. Sometimes people will just want to have something to listen in the background. And so, I mean, you can't force those people to chat because they will more than likely be busy, or they just don't really want to be actively chatting there and then. But all you can really do is make sure you've got the tools for people to interact. So whether that's your channel points, waffling, as I've said, it's the amount of times people have said, you there's no surprise that you're sort of comfortable in a streaming environment. It's because I just chat absolute bollocks. But it doesn't matter, because people are even if you are chatting bollocks, people are going to be like, oh, this guy's chatting, what is he chatting about? I can sort of engage in conversation with him, which I think a lot of people on Twitch do look for, is some sort of communication, so they don't just feel like they're left out. I mean,
of course they're looking for communication. It's why they'll come to the platform. They're looking for that interaction.
Yeah, you're more likely to get what would be a mindless chatter, which will just be someone who's spamming in chat on a bigger channel. But that's kind of because you're already expecting a level of, I'm not going to really be seen by the streamer, I'm just sort of putting my mark on the stream. But I think that's a whole different beast that only you really understand if you get to that level of popularity. So I think for a lot of people, even myself, anyone who's not dealing with that sort of mindless chatter mentality, you just don't need to worry about it, because you are looking to the people who you do want to engage with. And I think that's something that's impressive, is you've got even big streamers or growing, I would say growing streamers as opposed to big streamers, like BB Jess, who always make sure that they pay attention to chat. And
it's ridiculous in BB Jess's channel. She says hello to everyone that joins her stream, even though she has 1,000+ people in there. How insane is that?
He's got cracked ADHD energy that manages. It's like, how do you manage to keep up with that? My brain, in terms of trying to process this, is like, oh, there's chat, but then I'm also trying to think games, and thinking I'm going to play a game and I'm chatting with chat are two separate thoughts for me. How she manages to do, I'm going to do some cool dancing. Oh, and here's chat. And I'm going to read through all of this chat. And then I'm also going to do these OBS camera changes. And it's just like, how do you do that?
Yeah,
she's a massive inspiration. She is such a big inspiration.
She has got it going on. And I with regards to what Ray has just asked, I believe that you should read what someone has wrote and then read it out loud and then reply to it, especially as a growing streamer. Now, when I use the terms of growing, I mean going from 0 viewership right through. So as long as you're streaming, you're continuously growing. So the way I would do it is, if someone comes in, I will automatically recognize them as they come into the stream, and then I will ask a question. It could be just as simple as something as, hey, how are you? How's your day going? What have you been doing today? And then they might type something, and then much like Lee's just wrote, she can play old school platformers and talk casually and interact with chat at the same time, and I'm just mind blown. And I agree with what Lee Swaggerton's saying. BB Jess is it's just insane. It's absolutely insane. And this is how I believe you should interact with your chat. Now, not everyone does an interaction with chat in this manner. So some people will just read it in their mind, what someone has wrote, and then speak upon it and address that person by name and say, yeah, Lee, I agree with you. Like my mind's blown as well without reading it. But to begin with, as you're growing your first few viewers and your first few people within your community, I would definitely advise reading it first, then read it out loud, and then respond to it.
I think as well, when you're growing, you have that luxury of being able to interact more. Because I think the more people you get, and I think for a lot of us at this stage, we're quite thankful that chat doesn't get over like flooded with messages, because then we can have meaningful conversation.
I don't know, man. I've been in that situation before.
Yeah. I think it gets to a point, there's probably a point, and again, I've kind of been thankful to be sort of on the brink of that stage more than anything, that you end up just having to go with the flow, because otherwise it just becomes a bit of a nightmare trying to play a game and then also read chat. I think that's probably the benefit of just chatting streamers, is the fact that you can have those conversations and be a bit more sort of interactive with people. I think that's partly why BB Jess works so well, is because while she does do all the other cool bits, primarily chat's at the forefront, and it always will be. Whereas I think if you're looking at gaming streamers, it's hard to sort of balance gaming and chatting. And when I was saying I've been fortunate, I'm kind of at the brink of it, is because there have been times I've just stopped the stream to have a chat with people and then go on, and then because there will be like maybe a massive sort of bit of like chatting, and then it gradually dies down. So I always try to make sure I prioritize everyone when it gets particularly busy, and then I'll try and sort of go back to playing and then look here and there just to make sure.
Yeah. I mean, I will. Right, I've been lurking about now, blow my mind. What's going on, Apollo? Welcome back, Indeed. I don't ignore you. Shut your mouth. Yeah, it's definitely a lot of fun when you first start streaming and you get your first two chatters. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, Ray, it is kind of nerve-wracking as well at the same time. I remember when I first started streaming and I had a couple of people talking in my stream, and it was a little bit nerve-wracking because it's the first time you've ever done it, but the more you do it, the more you get used to it.